So for chapter 7, there's two big ideas. And hopefully you've already watched the videos. All but one did the code listings. That's excellent. And we're going to talk about arrays. And you go, oh, yes, arrays. We covered the end of those in 121. That's good. And an array has a fixed size. We have to say, hey, it needs to be so big before I move on. Next week, we're going to talk about these things called vectors. Next week is going to be like the 7th. The week after is October 14th, and I'm pretty sure that's fall break. We don't meet that week. Okay, so just a note. But we have this thing called vectors. They're dynamic. That means they change. This is fixed memory. This is changing memory. And we went through, and hopefully you got into understanding that the actual scores holds an address, and the subscript tells us how far to move across. Okay? Covered all of that. Implicit initialization. That's when we fill the array inside the program, and we're going to be doing that today with one of the two programs that I'm going to have you be to solve. Partial initialization, something different than Java. We could fill just the first 3 elements of this array of size 10. So far, so good. Bounds checking. That doesn't check. It'll just let you keep going into who knows where. In Java, we got an error message. Hopefully you remembered it from Java when it came up in the videos. And this was the index out of bounds error that you may have seen. Range-based loops. These are kind of neat. They are popular. A lot of people like to use them. I see a lot of it in my CPS 162. Do I tell you to use it? No. It's good to know, though, how this works. Can go through that array and pull values out and keep looping till I get to the end. What else do we have? We have arrays as arguments. When we're passing in the name of the array. A moment ago, I said, remember, it's the size. It's the size of the array. Okay. Here I'm calling it with 2 arguments. One's an address, one's an integer. The address comes down and I say, hey, this is now what I'm going to call that address. It's going to be an array of integers. I'm going to store this address. And here's size. Reference variable. Again, I can send them this value gets changed at the location. That's the address. So when I do the array name, it's an address. Questions? Okay, so today, the first program that we're going to work on is this one on page 457. And I'm already giving you what I want your main to look like. Okay, this is what your main, let me move that over to there. And I'm going to use, this is what I want your main to look like. So let's talk about what's going on here. Page, boom. I have a program. Driver's license exam. Okay. You probably saw a conversation about this in the video. When it gets to the programs in the videos, you can cut them off because that's what we're going to be working on in class. And we're going to have a lot more detail. All right. So the local driver's license office asked you to write a program, and you're going to read in the answers to 20 multiple choice questions. Now, the real answers you are going to store in an array in your program. So the real answers are going to be stored before we even start. Okay. In the real world, we may have these stored in a file or something in case we have to edit it or change questions or something along those lines. So we're going to do that implicit initialization. You're going to go through and get the answers to the 20 questions. Then you're going to display how many questions they got right. They need 15 or more to pass, and you will let them know if they pass again. Back to your program. You know what else is missing sometimes in your programs? Do 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 do. Run again options. If you're the programmer, run again options are great to have. Why? Because you're going to have a bunch of sets of test data. Run it again. Make sure it works. Run it again. Would you like to run again? Would you like to run again? It's easy to say no and be done. You don't have to do a lot of other stuff. So an emphasis should start to be run again options. All right. I'm going to look at this and I'm going to say, hey, now, test data. Give me a set of test data. Now, make it as easy as possible.
Um, you could do 20 C's.
Yes, 20 C's. And according to this, how many should I have right?
4. Oh, wait, no. 5, sorry.
Five,
5.
right? I should have five right. Number right. Good call. And that's a fail. What else?
Oh, you could do like okay, so 10 B's, 10 A's.
Does that mean I have to go through and do work and count? A little bit, right?
Oh,
I'm trying to
yeah.
do this without any work. So here's what I'm going
Mm,
to do. I'm going to do numbers 1 through 14, A, D, B, B, C, B, A, B, C, D, A, C, D, B, and then all E's. That would give me 14 correct. What if I do numbers 1 through 15 and then all E's? That should give me 15 correct and I should pass.
I have a quick question about this.
Yeah,
The way For the way they set up the table, do you want a like one-dimensional array or two-dimensional
one
dimensional
dimensional array.
array?
Yeah,
Okay, that's
one
what I
dimensional.
thought.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, so a couple of decent test data. This way, okay, program ran. Now let's sit and think about is it possibly going to work or not? So if I come in to my program, one of the first thing is I'm going to fill answer array implicitly. Ah, that kind of makes sense. I'm going to put that in. That's easy. That's not really coding. That's not anything. So I need to fill answer array. I also need to create um, the user's answers. So this is the correct answers and this is the user answer. So maybe something like I'm going to declare two arrays of size 20, correct answers, and maybe I have another array user answers. So this is the one that I'm going to fill implicitly. Sound pretty good? All right, so what's my next big idea? Good, good. I'm I'm going to need to get um let's just call it answers. And this is going to be this guy right here, user answers. And that's going to be that array, sending the addressing. So here's my first function. I'm going to be sending this in. Second one, now that I have that, I want to compare answers. And let's see, I need to send in the address for correct answers. And I'm going to need to send in the address for user answers. And I'm going to need one more.
Maybe for if the user got them correct or not.
Right, the number right. Be my second function. Tell me what to do here.
You'd be comparing the whatever, like the respective values in each arrays together.
Right, and these two arrays together, we give it a name. We call them parallel arrays. Because what's in zero of the one, we're comparing to zero in the other. They're both the same side, and they match up in the real world by location so we can grade them. But I think in order to get the number right back, I'm going to send that in as a reference variable. I'm sending in the variable, and then I'm going there and changing the number. And when it comes back, it's fine. So this is an address, this is an address, and this is an address. Lots of different addresses going on here. And then finally, I want to display. So let's see. Here are the correct answers. Here are your answers. And here's the number right. You notice this time I'm not going to be changing it, so I don't have to pass it in as a reference variable. Da 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 da. Da 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 da. Do. While. Let's throw one more thing in here. Let's throw a fourth function called run again. And I'm going to have a variable that I'd like to change. I'm going to call it y or n. Because if I write this nice little function, think of the reusability. Now I need to do while, while y or n equals capital Y kind of deal. Once I have this is nice because I get the program running. Now I throw in this, and this. Okay, questions? Everybody has stuff written down or at least took a picture with your phone?
What did you write down initially on what you want main to look like, or is that this?
That's these 1, 2, 3 lines, these three
Okay.
functions. Then you're going to add the do while and create one more function. So get these three done first. People start to throw do whiles in right away, and it blends and mixes their code all up. All right, good. Program number 2. This will be good. If you can get all of this done and understanding it, that's fantastic. Fibonacci sequence. We're going to start it at 1. How does the Fibonacci sequence work? The third term is the sum of the previous two. What's the next term?
2,
Next term.
4.
The sum of the previous two.
Oh, the 3,
Yeah. Next term.
5,
Yep.
8.
8. Yeah, you got the idea of how this
Mhm.
grows. Okay. I want you to do this with an array. You're going to let's see how I want to do this. We're going to get well, no, I want to keep the array size. So we're going to build the array. What size do you want the array to be?
You could have it be 10.
You want it to be 10? I'm okay
Yeah.
with 10. First thing we're going to do is fill the array. We know where it starts at 1, and we're going to fill it by doing the work. So array sub 1 is 1, sub 0, we're going to hard code. Sub 1, we're going to hard code. Then we're going to have a loop from 3 to 10 to calculate the rest of those values. Okay? So we're going to call this Phoebe array. All right. Let's see. We are going to, let's just do that, and then let's just display it. Keeping that nice and simple. Keeping it. I'd like you to do this one first. This is nice and meaty and goes well, especially with a group. If you run out of time, fine. You can work on these on your own, but otherwise, good. When you're finished, post these on D2L. Some of you did some clever things in the last program. Post your program solutions on D2L, where once the assignment is passed, you can post it, yada, yada, yada. Okay. Any questions on the 2 programs we're working on today? We have some test data. Thought that through. We didn't get too deep into an algorithm, but we laid out our main. We took the big problem and broke it down into smaller problems. We took the big problem, not a real big problem, but we broke it down into smaller problems. Fill the array and then display it. Working with functions and passing.